So my name is Gro Pedersen, and I'm a geologist, and I'm working on the eruption on Reykjanes Peninsula at Fragradalsfjall volcano. Fragradalsfjall volcano basically means the beautiful valley mountain volcano. So Fagrad means beautiful, Dal means valley, and Fjall means mountain. So Fragradalsfjall volcano. Reykjanes Peninsula is basically the southwest corner of Iceland, and we have 5 volcanic systems across the peninsula, one of which is the Fragradalsfjall volcanic system. There was this big earthquake on the 24th of February. As the magma is trying to find its way up through the crust often breaks a little bit in order to accommodate space for this magma, and that creates the earthquakes. It was more than 50,000 earthquakes. I've never felt so many earthquakes in my life. They were very intense. And on the 19th of March, we got the first eruptive fissure in Geldingadal.
And that's the first time since 800 years that Reykjanes have had an eruption. And this specific volcanic system has not erupted for 6,000 years.
When a volcano is erupting for the first time in modern times, it's really a unique window into understanding those volcanic systems. Volcanoes are all different and they work differently. You have actually been able to see new fissures open like that, which is remarkable, really amazing. I would say it's rather addicting. I don't think you get okay, seen that, done that. At least not if you have geological background. Then you're like, I want more. Some of the things we have been doing and I have been doing specifically are, of course, we are trying to figure out the volume of the eruption and how much volume are being emitted per second. That is done by surveys from air, either from satellite or from planes, where you take pictures and you construct topographic models.
What we are trying to do is partly understanding where the lava will go. So right now it's ponding and it's moving a bit to the south, but one of the other options that the lava can do if it keeps on filling up the valley is basically going out this valley here towards the east and then flow into the other valleys.
It's a bit more complicated than, for instance, water. As soon as some of the lava has cooled, it's basically creating a barrier or obstacle for the lava that is being emitted afterwards. So constantly the topography is changing when you have lava flows evolving. I feel like every day I'm not going into a field, I'm a little bit sad because I would like to follow it and see how it evolves. So I think you are awestruck every time you come in to in the field and you see how the landscape have been changing. But of course, it can also be quite frustrating at times. On Friday when we were in the field last, it was basically so much gas, and we now have multiple sources, so each fissure segment is emitting gas.
So from the cones you can see there are gas plumes coming out, and this gas is something you have to be aware of when you're walking around here in the field, because it's bad for you. It can be poisonous if it's too high concentrations. So right now, after the 2 latest fissures that open up, the situation is much more complicated because you have 3 sources of gas moving around with the wind.
So it can also be quite frustrating, and of course Icelandic weather is not always playing along either. We have been promised clear skies. So if you have things you really want to do and you cannot do them because of the gas or because there's suddenly a snowstorm, then of course there's some frustration. But I would say overall, it's amazing to go to the field. You just want to go more. I mean, it's a lot of work, so you have to like it. You have to be a little bit dedicated. Or crazy, I don't know. So in Iceland we have approximately 32 or 33 volcanic systems that have produced many hundreds of eruptions over time. And that is because Iceland is located on the plate boundary between Eurasia and the North American plate that is moving apart. So along the plate boundary, you basically have the plates moving to each side, and when that is happening, you're stretching the crust, and new material is coming up from below, and it's basically generating volcanic eruptions that are filling out this material, so you don't end up having two Icelands. But on top of that, we also have a mantle plume, and a mantle plume is basically an area deep down under the crust where you have hot rock, and therefore we have these two special conditions, a plate boundary and a mantle plume, that causes extra melt generation and causes all the volcanoes and the volcanic eruptions to be placed here in Iceland.
And now multiple other fissures have opened up, and that is what you see in the back. Some of these fissures have built up cones and are very active, producing a lot of lava.
So we don't know when the volcano will stop. That's a $1 million question, and we really would like to predict that, but we just know that right now it seems like the eruption is still unfolding, it's still opening up new fissures, so it doesn't seem to stop right now. And there are geochemical evidence that suggests that it's similar to some of the shield eruptions, and if it's going to be an eruption that produces shield, then we're in for a long ride. But really the answer is we don't know.